Hello, everyone. Hope everyone's doing well tonight. Mads, how are you? Um, all right. We're going to get started here in just a few minutes. Um, Thought I'd start just a few minutes early tonight, get going and all that stuff. So we'll do that. Let's see. Let me get the camera going. There we go. All right. So hope everyone's had a good night or a good day and having a good evening. Let me get going over here on YouTube and so I can see comments for it takes a while for this chat to get going right. Let's see. There we go. All right. That way I can see the comments better, know what's going on. There we go. All right. So let me know you're here by commenting. Um, we'll get going. Let's see. All right. So I got a very interesting story tonight we're going to talk about. I'll get into that in just a few minutes. Let's see. Me. Um, all right. Now, I know StreamYards and everything is being kind of slow tonight, so I don't really know what's going on with that exactly, but kind of a stall or something's going on. I don't know. It's been like that for the last hour. I've been trying to tinker with it to get it right, and for whatever reason, it's just not. So we'll see why later. I hope so. I know the notification is going to take a bit to go out, so we're not going to rush into this story at all. We'll say I've not been able to do an investigation so far this week, so um, hopefully soon we'll be able to do that, and maybe next week before I'll be able to though. Um, yeah, again, I don't know why it's just, I don't know if you're all seeing it as a stall out or not, but it was, I don't know, my connection is just not the greatest tonight for some reason. Let me let me send a couple of notifications out real quick, uh, um, and then kind of make sure we're getting everybody that can come in. Let's see. Do one thing here. Why is it not doing? Oh, there it goes. Let's see. Let me get. All right, I got just a couple more because I don't know. Sometimes these notifications take forever, so that's why I'm not hurrying into anything. I know. I mean, things can take a while or whatever. Let's see. Let's see. We'll do this. There we go. All right. So maybe looks like I think people are getting it from Twitter, X, or whatever. So, all right, maybe that'll help. Maybe that'll help. I know I was supposed to not. It usually sets up for 9:05, just in case I had to be a few minutes late. So, hey, mom, how are you? All right. Like I say, I don't know. I don't know what y'all are seeing on your end as far as if it's stalling out or not. But you know, just bear with me. Hopefully, the signal connection will get a little better, and it won't be as bad. Is it fine? Okay. good. It may just be on my end that it just looks weird or something. I don't know. Um, it just shows I don't have the best connection, but the Wi-Fi is like in the next room, so I don't know why it would be that way. But unless I've heard a lot of people are having issues with Wi-Fi today, so I don't know. Looks like it's fully connected. Full bars. I don't know. It might just be on my end, I guess. We'll see. So the I'm gonna try to do stories every week of somebody, and I'll is it a little slow? Yeah, we're afraid of that. Um, I don't know what else I can do. I've done everything I can do to make it fast. I don't know why it's not. Why I don't why it's not working completely, but maybe it may be just the internet is just not all that good today. I may have should have unhooked the internet and restarted or something, but it's all right. We'll make it. We'll do what we can for sure, and go from there. But like I said, I want to do stories like every week as much as possible, and maybe we can keep that trend through Halloween time. So, and just had another raccoon hop up on the porch. So, uh, still not going to try to do any outside stuff in the night. Still don't know about the bears. They could still be lurking somewhere. So who knows? Who knows? Yeah. So everybody just comment when you're in. Let me know you're in here, and we'll get going here in a few minutes on the story time. And it's an interesting story too because I've been able to investigate where this person is buried. So let me switch over here for just a second. Here, like I say, it's taking a second to load everything up. There we go. There it is. Okay. And I may play a little bit of the video that's a part of this investigation that I did, but we'll see if we are able to do that or not. Um, I don't know, with the internet being kind of sluggish right now, I may not do that tonight. Let's see. Yeah, it's not even wanting to pull up too much. So I probably won't do I'll talk about the investigation for sure. Let me click off of some stuff here. Maybe that'll help a little bit. I hope. Hey, bud, how are you? Hope you're doing well. All right. Let me see. Okay, so I'm gonna keep the chat up on my phone. So if y'all come in, I'll be able to see that. All right. So I want to get to the story. Load up. There we go. All right. So this is about um a story that happened not far from where I live. And again, like I said earlier, I was able to investigate where this guy where he's buried. He and his wife, and she's just as much a part of this as he is. But it's the murder of Joan Crowder by John Payton. Now, I talked about this maybe a couple years ago on a live stream. We covered it and but not in full length detail. And there is a few kind of discrepancies uh, along the way, and I'll tell you what I found during my investigation as well, because it may open a door to something else possibly. But I've never been able to totally confirm some of the things that I've got. Okay, so this is the murder of Joan Crowder by John Pate in Madison County. And the story goes Joan Clarissa Rice was born in Madison County, North Carolina, in April of 1867. And it lists her family, won't go into that. But she does have, she grew up with 8 siblings, 4 brothers, 4 sisters. And then it goes into the next detail of her life where it says Joan, or she sometimes would go by Joanna, as often is referred to, she had 6 children of her own with a fellow named Jefferson. I think it was his last name. I didn't give that, but anyway, there were 4 boys and 2 girls, and she became a widow. It doesn't say how he died. I don't know how her husband died or anything about that at all. So um, there is some details I don't have. It says that then when she became a widow, some of her children moved in with family members and things like that. It says several newspapers covered what happened in 1904. So this is 1904 now. We're going to jump ahead from her birth at 1867 to 1904. Some reports even went as far as Atlanta, Georgia. So from North Carolina to Georgia, this was a pretty big story to be covered that far away. Several newspapers had covered it. So, um, and then, like I say, it even says here too there was conflicting stories about this. But here is what we got. On July 31st, 1904, John Pate went to the home of the Rices. The newspaper says not they didn't know why exactly. But John asked where the Jones' whereabouts were, where her whereabouts was, and they're describing a home where she might have been. So he went to this place on another side of a mountain looking for her. The neighbor heard a woman moaning, and so she went and looked. So here is kind of like it's given like a short detail. So basically, what happened, and I'm going to have to fill in the gaps here because this little article don't have all the gaps to fill in that I know of. So there was an affair that and happened. Now, was she willingly in the affair and then broke it off and it made him mad, or did she want to have an affair, or did he want to have an affair and she didn't and she left? So basically, what happened was Joan moved in with John and his wife Texana. Texana and Joan are cousins, and what somehow along the line, it was something over an affair. He wanted to have an affair with her, or they were having an affair, and she broke it off. She left their home. He went looking for her. He went to several different places and trying to figure out where she's at, as it says here. And then it says he did come across her. He did find where she was at. He shot her, and what has been said that she got shot in the arm, the elbow area, and then she had stomped, or like somebody had stomped her chest and stomped her stomach and all that. And it just a it was awful. She had extensive bruising, as it says here, to her abdomen. She regained conscious enough to tell a neighbor that John Pate was trying to kill her. Just then, Pate came back to where Joan and the neighbor were. They got Joan into the neighbor's house, where she did die a couple hours later. Before she died, it was said that a few witnesses that John Pate had pursued Joan to say that she shot herself. So he's blaming her for shooting herself in the arm, um, and try to say it wasn't him. Okay, so there's a lot of gaps here, but from this story, so I'm filling in as I go. So, as we said, an affair of some kind. We don't know about it. You know, I've already covered that. So he went looking for her. He got her, shot her, stomped her. She ended up dying. He then takes off because he's a coward. Okay, he's a coward. He takes off and he flees to Tennessee. And then there becomes a $300 reward. And I know $300 don't sound like a lot today, but I did the math on that a couple days ago, and $300 equivalent to today is like $10,000. So there's that. Hey, sis. And so it's $10,000 compared to the 300 back then. So it had been a lot of money back in 1904 for sure. And so they did track him down. His wife, of all people, helped hide him from the police. And it goes on to say that they, had a search party. They went to look for him and did find him. They got him to jail. He had a mustache, which he had trimmed. His wife was arrested at the time, but then was released soon after. Why, I don't know. She hit him. I don't know why you would let her go. Um, to me, that's just what is that? Like an accessory or whatever, where she was trying to hide a man that was wanted for murder. So he went to jail and was waiting on a trial. However, he managed to escape jail one more time, this time with other inmates with the help of one of the inmates' wife. He goes again to Tennessee and they find him in an old rundown shack. He started to reach for his gun and go after him, but that they surrounded him, so he didn't do anything. So they brought him back where he served. He was charged on a second-degree murder and sentenced to 30 years in prison. He died in 1948. It says he died in 1948, living a full life after taking one. He's buried beside his wife, Texana, who stuck by him the entire time despite him having killed her cousin. They're both buried at Clark's Chapel. I've been to this place before, and they. Hey, Vodka, how are you? Good morning. So I've been to this place and I've done an investigation there before, and through the investigations I've done a couple of them. He is a very cocky, arrogant son of a gun. So, and the questioning that I would play the video, but unfortunately I don't. The signal's just not strong enough for whatever reason. I'm in the house, like I said, for people who might be joining us, but whatever reason, it's just not, you know, allowing me to flip back and forth. So I'll kind of cover what I've come across. Excuse me. And let me bounce here just a second. There we go. Yeah, it's not letting me do anything. No, I can't get it. I can't get it to load. Okay. So even though I can't get it to load, we'll still talk about what I got. So I did ask questions like, did you murder her? And I got a word like celebrate came through. I said, did you stomp her after you shot her? And I got the word agreed came through. Um, it just seemed like he was just happy that he killed her. Now, again, with those investigations, I wish I could show you, but I'll have to get the links and put them in here in a minute if I can get YouTube to load back up again. If not, I can put it at the end, and y'all can go back and get it. So there's two investigations that I did, and I use things like flashlights and K2s to kind of help light things up if they wanted to do that, and it would help answer questions as well. So that worked. And then I used the Spirit Talker and I used the Ghost Tool app in those two investigations. So it was a couple years ago when I did those. So the one thing I did get was, and I don't know if it was pertaining to him and 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 Joan or anything, but I got infant, and I don't know 100% sure if there's a child involved between these two. There could have been the infant that when the infant came through, it could be another spirit trying to communicate to. I don't know. And 100% I don't know. But just the sheer fact that the man tried to he wanted to kill her for some reason. I mean, what was the biggest reason? Because she didn't want to have an affair? Well, there's something to hide. And those are things I've not been able to uncover. And in this article that I got, which kind of like highlights the entire situation, there's other there's pictures, there's other newspapers, like I said, all the way down to Atlanta, Georgia. Um, it was covered in Charlotte, North Carolina. So there's different things that popped up. They all kind of give a little bit different details, but it was in the middle of the woods is where he ran her down and shot her and stomped her. And again, he tried to find his way out of it multiple times and said he didn't do it and escaped prison twice. Um, I've not seen, and my sister's in here. She might be able to shed a light on anything I might have missed. But I've not seen anywhere where possibly a child was involved, or maybe she had been pregnant or something like that. I did get attic when I was doing the investigation as well. Makes me think that I asked, I said, did she live in your attic or something when she lived there? I never got a confirmation on that. But again, it was, um, you know, uh, it's more questions than answers. Yeah, he should have been put under the jail. Well, his wife should have been put in jail too. She hit him, and they arrested her and let her go. Which I'm yet to figure out why you would do that 100%. Let me turn this light. There we go. I don't know why you would just let her go, being the fact that she hit him, and I'm sure she was a part of his second time, escaping being hidden too. So I don't know why you would do that and not put her behind bars. But in the same spot that she was murdered, there was other murders that happened there too over time. And I can't remember if they were before or after, but in this one area. And either way, there's a lot more questions than answers, right? And that's pretty much the story. It's not a very long story because I don't have all the details, except for the things that I was able to investigate and get that, he was happy with it. And he's just an evil guy. He was trying to get out of it, said he didn't do she shot herself in the arm, and I guess he was going to say that she stomped herself too. I guess I'm assuming that was the case. I don't know. They knew he did it. I mean, she confessed to who it was before she died, and I did see somewhere where he had. I want to say he may have tried to kill somebody else too, but I can't find that piece in this paper anywhere. I could have swore I saw somewhere where he tried to kill somebody else too. Um, well, I do know he tried to attempt to kill the people that were bringing him into custody. He went for his gun, but there was too many people around with their guns drawn. There's another reward by the governor for $150. Um, if anybody's got any questions, just feel free to ask about it. Um, I was looking through that part of it where the governor had said something, but um, it just kind of goes over the same thing. But he'd offered so essentially probably about a $450 reward total. Which again, like I said, 1904, that's an equivalent of $10,000 in US today. There's another one that said he had second degree murder, 30 years. penitentiary. Um, let's see. So he was in there with some people too that had murdered somebody too. A couple of people, Sol Hensley and Morris McIntosh. I think from what I remember reading, that's who he escaped with. So they were doing time for murder as well. Um, yeah. So that's pretty much all I got. Um, but I could have swore that he tried to kill somebody else, but I can't find that anywhere right now. I was going through all the different newspapers, but he was in there with other people who were murdered, and they were the ones that escaped with him. So there's that. Oh, okay. Well, so if Sis has got anything that she can add in there, she can put it in the chat as well. I pretty much covered, I think, the whole thing. And he was just evil in everything he did. I mean, it was just awful. Just an awful human being. Everything that he did. And there we go. Vodka, if you wanted to come up, you can. I sent you a link. Excuse me. Let's see. I still can't get YouTube to run right for some reason. Oh, excuse me. I can see if I can get it to come up again, but that part of the investigation was pretty crazy. You try to shoot the officers when they attempted. Yeah. Yeah, now that I think I remember seeing where when he was getting captured, he tried to kill them or try to, pull a gun on them. Excuse me. And YouTube's still loading wrong. I don't know. Oh well, no big deal. We won't worry about that. Okay, thank you, Vodka. But um, the fact of the matter is, let me get some water. Um, if I can ever stories back in those days were never whoa, it went foggy. Were never that good with detail. I mean, they would just take anybody's word about anything and they would just publish it for whatever reason, and they would do that. I don't know why, but they didn't check a lot of facts back in the day, and yeah, I think that it's a place called Bald Mountains where he went to escape. He went inside a cave the first time. The second time he went to an old rundown shack. But he invaded. Here's something I didn't say earlier. After Joan died, he fled and had that reward. He evaded law. He was out. He evaded them for about 8 months. So what they did was they started following his wife and seeing where she was going, and that's where it led to the cave that he was. Yeah, where do you know where she was buried at exactly? Because it still shows in these reports that she could have been buried in the family cemetery, but I never gave any. What is it called? Any indications about where she's buried? But yeah, they followed his wife for uh, for I mean he's gone for 8 months. They didn't know where he was at. Then they started following her and figured out where he was going or where she was going and where he was at. And that was the first time they captured him. Okay, so she's a poplar more or less in that cemetery. So it is in that family cemetery then. Yeah, so she'd be considered a pauper at that point. That's kind of weird that they didn't. Well, no, I think. Wait a minute. I think that they said something about she had not didn't have enough money to do anything. Hang on, just a second. Headset went crazy there for a second. Bring vodka up. Picky boo.
Hey, how you going?
How are you?
Oh, not
Good.
bad,
Good.
not
How are
bad.
you?
Getting
Good.
organised
I
for the
can actually hear you.
morning.
Ah, morning to
uh,
you, evening,
Feeling a
night
little
to us.
slow. Yeah, feeling a little slow this morning.
Yeah,
So,
that's how I was this morning. I was like, here we go. Let me get up, move, stretch. I
mhm.
finally got going.
Yeah, I didn't want to
Oh
get out of bed
man.
this morning. I'm like, it's still a bit chilly. Come on,
Oh,
spring. Just spring properly, will ya?
I I
Still got a
know.
bit
I
of the
was like,
cold
oh
nights
wow,
and
and
mornings things and yeah, cold days. So it's like, oh, come on, spring. You're supposed to be out now. Just get it together.
there you go. There you go. Whew. Yeah, we're getting into the fall cold air, and I'm like, no, please don't leave. Please don't go away. I want that warm weather. This morning it was like 50
Oh, that's
degrees, and I
it.
was like, it's cold. It
Hmm.
was cooler this morning. I didn't like it, but oh well. We'll survive. We'll make it
That's
through
it.
Christmas and then get warm again.
Yeah. Oh, see,
Oh,
I'd love to come over and have
oh,
a white Christmas one day. Christmas is very warm here.
hmm, I bet. Yeah, you guys, you're all flipped around from us at that point in time of the year. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
but White Christmases here is hit and miss. We don't always get them. It's usually
Yeah,
further
I've heard
north that
that.
we'll get
So,
them,
yeah.
but
But I'd love
yeah.
to.
So
I
North
mean, my
Carolina, we
husband's like, no, snow, no, like, no.
well,
I'm
I
like, I'd
mean,
just like
so
to
you
see it
got
once.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it would be nice. I don't know. They're calling for more of a snowier, colder winter for us this year in our area.
Yeah,
So we'll see. It's supposed to be a little more to the snow side this year. We'll see. I don't.
right.
Won't know till we get there.
Yeah.
Oh Lord. So that was kind of a weird story that we talked about there, Vodka. I'm sure you heard a good
Mm,
part of that, but
yeah.
oh, and I was listening into your all's conversation about witches last night too. So that got interesting. So everybody's got some good stories
Yeah.
lately with things. They really do.
It's been really
Yeah.
good lately, actually,
Um.
and the different subjects everyone's talking about. It's always interesting. So
Oh yeah, it's been great. Everybody's got something unique going on right now. So I think this is
hmm
story time this year. Every year is something
yeah,
different. So that's a cool
yeah,
thing.
and I think it's actually good to do that
Yeah,
anyway
I've
for
been
your
pretty
channel
cool
half
with
the
that.
time.
Yeah.
Is like change things up
Whew,
a little bit,
so
maybe and yeah,
mhm,
do something a little different every now and
yeah.
then.
Mhm, yeah. Yeah. Last year I spent more focus on the dolls, on all our dolls out there. This year I thought let's do story time. So every year you got to do something a little different, And
That's it.
hopefully I can get on this
I think
pair
it
game
definitely
things.
helps
I've
the
been
channel anyway.
trying to figure that out too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I
Yeah, it gives you
noticed
something
things have
different, a
changed a
variety,
lot
you
though
know.
this
I still
year
go
with
film
YouTube.
and then story.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, I
Hmm.
noticed things have changed a lot though this year with YouTube. I
Yeah,
don't know. There's
and
just something
that's
going
stuff that
on.
me and well, thanks, sis. She sent me a picture.
Cool.
Um, yeah, this year's been totally different. Like something like me and you were like on X or Twitter or whatever, talking about the algorithm being changed up this year, where
Yeah,
demon word
yeah.
is a bigger algorithm
Mhm.
movement this year.
Well,
Like I think last year
that
was
was
like
the interesting thing. I
mainly like
did it in
scary and
the
haunted or something. So
well, this is it. Like it's the keyword thing, which seems to be the algorithm will pick up. But who's making the
mhm,
algorithm? You know what I mean? Like, how is it
yeah,
choosing the keywords?
I don't
And
know.
I mean, I only did a quick thing in my YouTube, buddy,
Mhm,
like, because I only do the free ones. So I couldn't get a lot more information till I pay for it. But
mhm,
I just typed in out of interest
yeah,
when all this came up a few weeks ago, paranormal. and it shows you sort of what sort of engagement or how likely, percentage-wise people are to click on your video. The word paranormal only came up 14%. Yet the word demon, just demon, there were other types of, demon, scratch me, all that, and I couldn't click on them because I don't pay. So, but just the word demon alone was 49% engagement type thing. And I'm like, look, we know it's clickbaity half the time, most of the time, but honestly, unfortunately, that's how YouTube works, is those clickbaity type words, unfortunately. So can't blame people for using them. But yes, I get where everyone's coming from, though. I do understand those that don't want to use it completely. Everyone's choice, and I understand why they don't want to. But it's like, well, what do you do when the algorithm is only wanting or picking up certain words better than other words? Sometimes you've got to give in just to get a few more views on your channel, I reckon. Well, because YouTube make it so hard, and especially paranormal. It's not even a option. Like, how they have all their different areas. Paranormal's not even in there on YouTube. So, how are they going to push out paranormal?
And when I have the option, I don't understand. Well, see, like the options I have when I do the upload is like entertainment, people and blogs, dog or pets, and you have all these DIYs. I don't have anything for like haunted, paranormal. If it even said investigations, I could use that, but I can't use any of those things. And it's, what do you do? Hey, Hensley, how are you? But that's kind of where we're kind of stuck. So you have to kind of like I used the word scary in my last video. So why I don't do scary videos, and that video has got up 400 views.
I was going to
say, much
now,
higher for a live stream than I ever get. So it's
you have just proven one of the points that I was trying to bring up over the word demon. It is sometimes literally, unfortunately, that just a word that is going to bring you a lot more views, and you've just proven it right there. Use the word scary, use one of those other words. You're going to get more views. And that's what we're all after in the long run, isn't it? Is more views. More people
you just want to reach as many people as you can,
the channel. That's it.
And I've grown bigger subscriber-wise because of the YouTube Shorts. That's helped me a lot. So
actually, when that came out,
like today's video,
we were talking about that too. Yeah, it definitely helps if you can get in that short cycle as well. You will bring that bit more traffic to your channel for sure.
Yeah. And I'm like, this has helped me a lot. I didn't realize how much it was. Now, hopefully some of those people will continue to watch over time, but, and don't just hit subscribe and just move on to the next person, which does happen a lot. And, but yeah, I've seen a lot. I mean, I had to I seen all that this weekend too. And I was kind of back and forth with watching all those, people on X commenting on things. And I don't know, I'll get your take on this, but I forget who it was. It put this in her X thing or Twitter thing. It said, I will no longer support fake paranormal or collab with anybody who's fake paranormal. And they left it at that. They didn't say who, they didn't tag people, they didn't put channels in. Then all of a sudden here comes this list of how dare yous. And I'm like, he didn't say anybody particular. He was just saying in general, he will not. So it was it became I'm offended because why are you faking
Well, I
it?
think
And
there
you're
was a
mad because
couple
you
of
said
things
it?
going on. I think there was something going on behind the scenes, sort of, from a video that was done or a live or whatever. I think it was a video. They are someone I follow. Now, something was made out to be something and it wasn't. It was probably someone else who happened to be there, but the person didn't find that out till after they'd uploaded. So, of course, then everyone's calling it fake, blah, blah, blah. I think this is what it was in reference to. And then he's come out going, well, hang on a minute. And he's even put up the conversation. I didn't find this out till later. Yes, it was probably this person, not, but it sort of blew up into a big thing. And More channels are just fighting amongst themselves, basically. I don't know why there is so much discord in the paranormal.
Yeah. I don't
It's
know.
like, man,
And
we're all
see, and
trying
I
to do our best.
commented under
Just,
that yeah. I'm like,
you
and
know,
I put underneath there, like, thank you for saying that. I would have said that too if somebody would have said, all I want to do is work with fake paranormal. I said, well, thank you for
yeah.
saying that. At least you're being honest.
Well,
And I like
that's
the
it. And
honesty
that's the
part of
thing.
it, not the battle.
Yeah, exactly.
And,
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
I
Yeah,
mean,
and more props
me and
to you. When
Amy,
you make a decision, that's great. I
yeah,
mean, it really,
yeah,
the thing is, though, there, and I hate to say this, people are going to hate me for it, but there is room for everyone because
yeah,
there are so many millions of people in the world that are all interested in different things, like,
mm,
so don't stress.
yeah,
It's just a matter of finding the right people for your channel
mhm,
to watch, that,
yeah,
and I know that's the hard part, but yeah, I don't
exactly.
know.
It is. And because the thing is, paranormal is not pushed heavily on YouTube. And the fact that,
Exactly.
you get like Mr. Beast and people who are doing these vlogs wherever, people
Mhm.
like that stuff. But
Yeah.
the paranormal has to have that certain genre of people that wants to be a part of it, and everybody's fighting for them. I'm like, when these so-called fake ones or whatever, they may go
Mhm.
off to La La Land one day and nobody will care about them, but those ones that were doing it real, they may love it one day. It may flip completely around, and then it'd be
Exactly,
them
and
making
that's
the
the thing.
name call. It'd be better.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, and
Yeah,
you've
it
got
will.
multiple
It,
types of people out there in the world, we're all different. Some want the over exaggerated,
mhm,
and some don't. Some want the real
mhm.
rigid edge,
Yeah,
and that's great. I mean, at least there
mhm,
is the option
yeah,
though, because there are so many great real channels out there.
yeah,
It's unfortunate more of them aren't well
mhm,
known,
yeah,
but that's why I'm sort of mainly okay, I make a little video here and there, but I mainly have
mhm,
been around everyone just to support everyone. And, I sort of try to make it my mission to share as many channels as I
mhm.
can whenever I've got time. And I really don't
Oh,
mind
yeah, you
who
do.
that channel is. You know what
Oh,
I
Lord, he
mean?
does,
Like,
yeah.
unless I have a real personal issue with them myself or, but
Mhm,
whether they're more along the entertainment lines
yeah,
or rigid real or a completely different genre. I mean, I don't just watch paranormal,
mhm,
so I try to share as many as I can because that's the hard part, especially for smaller channels, is
yeah,
getting your name out there, getting known, So I figure that's the least I can do. Doesn't matter who you are,
mhm,
to me.
yeah. No, it don't. And I'm learning new people every day, and I went back and I looked at my subscriber count that I have, or people I've been subscribed to, and you wouldn't believe how many people I went, gosh, it's been 5 years since they put up a video. Like, what happened to these people? So
Yes,
I got to thinking about a couple of them one day. And I was like, I hadn't seen them do anything in a while. And then the next thing I know is, my God, they're not done anything in 4 or 5 years. That's why. So,
exactly.
and
Yep.
then
I've
I'm
actually
like, I
found that
started just
recently too on
unsubscribing.
some of the channels. Yeah. And it's like, oh, well,
Hmm.
hope they're okay. Like life took over
Yeah.
probably in some way,
Mhm.
and that's fine too.
Yeah.
Hope they're doing good,
Yeah.
But yeah, I haven't seen some for
Right.
quite a while. So,
It, it shocked me. I was like, wow, because we don't get the notifications well anyway half the time. So it's just like, you're
uh,
looking
yeah.
and you're not getting it. So you're like, well, what happened?
Hmm.
And all of a sudden, oh crap. Mm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Fox sisters. I got to do that one night too. Um, yeah, they were one of those that supposedly heard things or whatever, and they were. Matter of fact, that's with Abraham Lincoln and Mary Todd Lincoln was. I think Mary Todd was kind of like into these people, and that's how she
Hmm.
got into doing being like listening to mediums and things like that talk. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's a good story to talk about too. I'll get into that one night too this next week or two. That's a good one.
Cool.
But yeah, I'm with you. I'm like, let people do what they want to do. I just kind of, I do the one thing I see that, everybody, not everybody, but there's going to be a lot of people that's going to support the big YouTubers. And I wish they'd just kind of put a little more effort into smaller YouTubers, like really, really, like you do, shout them out. But it's like,
That's what I guess.
I'd hate
That's
to
why I
say
do what
there's
I
a
do.
lot of
And
butt
yeah, I do it for
kissing
the
that
big
goes on
ones
too. But
too. But
Yeah.
yeah, I do. I
Mhm.
try to share as many as I can. It doesn't matter what
Mhm.
size channel you are, as I said, and
Oh,
what you do. I
yeah.
mean, I don't watch gaming channels
And if y'all
particularly.
follow Vodka, you know that.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, guys.
Mhm.
Sometimes I do flood it,
Yeah.
and you got to just scroll as if say vodka. Go away. You just, I'm not. I'm not looking for that at the moment. Just, but
Yeah.
as I say, I don't.
And
Whether you've got
every day.
10 subscribers
Mhm.
or 10,000 or a million, it doesn't matter to me. And you
Mhm.
know, it's
Well,
just trying to push people's content out there a little bit in case the few thousand followers I've got on
yeah.
Twitter don't know who you guys are.
Mhm.
I'm trying to figure out
Yeah.
actually how to get you guys more recognition on there. And I don't know if I should swap to
Mhm.
using hashtags or what I should do, because I know everyone's
Um,
struggling lately
no.
to get
Yeah.
views. Oh, pardon me.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Um,
been trying to think about it and I'm not sure.
yeah, I don't know. And one thing I was thinking about today, because of course, obviously, YouTube's not my full-time job, but
Yeah.
if you think of YouTube, even if it is your full-time job as a hobby, I think you'll enjoy
Mhm.
it much better than you're like, oh God, I got to do this, got to do these little things, and then
Yeah.
I do see big YouTubers always saying, "Wow, did y'all not like my videos? Your views went down." I'm looking at their views like, yeah, it went down 100,000. Man, I'd like to have 100,000 on one of my channel, views, but it's just
That's
like
it.
they worry about the money too, because that is their livelihood, some. But, you gotta expect the ups and downs, especially in paranormal.
Yeah,
You're gonna have
definitely.
that, okay, it's August, September, woo, we're going up, Halloween time, then it's gonna back down again. So you
Uh-huh.
gotta go from
For sure.
paranormal to Christmas time or something,
Yeah,
you know? That's why DIYs do so good though. Marnie sits there and
definitely.
watches DIYs, and it's like
Mhm.
all year long, and they're doing good
Yes.
because they're changing with seasons.
Mhm.
That's how it
That's
needs to
it.
be,
Yeah, there's so many
for
different
sure.
DIYs you can
Yeah.
do, and I think that's why craft channels
Yeah.
do so well, all of those type of
Mhm.
channels, because they're always doing something and it's always
Mhm.
something different,
Yeah.
or a project they work on for a few weeks and then they move on to another thing.
Yeah.
It's just there's a lot of variety, I think, in their channels, so keeps people interested.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they are. Yeah, and Marnie loves it, and she tries some of the crafts and stuff and does real good with them.
Mhm.
And it's just paranormal's not like that. You know, I
No,
I used to do
that's right.
vlogs too. Maybe I should go back and do that, but, it's
Mm.
yeah, I don't know. I have to keep the channel kind of
Trying to
paranormal.
find the time
Yeah.
half the time and
Mhm.
you're thinking, "Are they gonna be interested in what I'm talking about
Mhm.
today?" Or yeah,
Yeah.
the vlogging thing is hard.
Mhm.
I've noticed that the,
Yeah.
younger generation, some of them do very well with the vlog thing particularly,
Mhm. Yeah.
and some sort of
Yeah.
middle age, mature age do really well. But then again, a lot of them are on a farm or they've got something else interesting, that they're vlogging continually because they do
Mhm.
something, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been wondering and thinking,
Yeah.
I don't know. YouTube is just so up and down. It really is
Yeah.
with what they push and what they don't, and their algorithms. They really don't make it
Mhm.
easy to get your channel
Mm-mm.
out there, I don't think.
Oh, Lord, no. Not when you're in this niche or whatever they call it,
Yep.
you gotta find a spirit to do DIY, that'd be fun. Hey, Face, how are you?
Face going.
Um, but now, one thing, I took some time off from doing live streams from everybody's, Amy's, and I just
Yep, yep.
pulled away because I was really getting, like overwhelmed with it. And then all the
Yes.
drama stuff too, with everybody
Yeah.
else. And that hurt me a
Mm.
little bit because my views went down because I wasn't live every week and stuff. But sometimes you have to pull away and take a breather and say, and I took a year off, and I was
Yeah,
like, I
definitely.
gotta go back. I gotta start doing this. But I'm
Yeah.
doing,
Well, see, life
I'm back,
happens
and then
too.
over
You
time
get
I'll grow with it.
burnout, you get burnout or you've
Mhm.
got family stuff going on. Like Amy's had a lot of health stuff in their family. And,
Mhm.
sometimes you just can't be there, for a
Yeah.
while. And
Yeah, if
and
you
that's
take some
okay
time
too. But
away.
unfortunately, yeah, your views
Mhm.
and things go down and you
Mhm.
got to sort of work at it a bit when you come back. Get your name back out there
Yeah,
like
I
I'm
mean,
back, people. come back to my
Yeah, I'm
channel, you
here.
know.
I'm live. And that's why I switched to Wednesdays because Fridays were like, I'm thinking, people must be out on weekend nights. So let's try Wednesday. So it's been, have
Yeah,
a few people in here, which is good. It'll take time to grow on Wednesday nights. And I want to do
that's
more
it.
panel chats and
Yeah,
probably
I
not as
noticed
many I got to, yeah,
they do tend to get a few more
yeah.
people in too if you get a panel going every now and then or have something, a
Mhm.
new topic or or you're going
Yeah.
over something that, one
Yeah.
of your videos or something. So,
Video stories or just having fun talking
mhm,
about whatever. And we used to do that all the time. And,
yeah.
a lot of people, a lot of good people are, I mean, I don't see them like Bud, unfortunately, traveling buddy passed away. He was such a
Oh,
great person to have in a chat.
yeah,
Oh Lord, he'd
yeah,
make you
he
laugh every
was.
night. And I miss
Oh, he
him.
was amazing. Yeah.
He was
I
great.
didn't know
And,
him long, but
he was fun, and, he would be one of those who would send me a message like, "You need to do something different in your video, do this, or it's too loud," or it was, I'm like, "You know
mhm,
what? Thank you. I appreciate that," because not everybody's gonna go up to you and say, "Oh, by the way, your video is
mhm,
loud," or the music part or what. He was good to help me with that, so I was very thankful, and,
oh, that's great.
yeah, I miss him a lot. He was good, and, but, a lot of
Yeah,
people like I say, a lot of people that, a couple years or so ago that we were doing this, they're not here no more. They're gone. Their channel's gone.
yeah.
So now I'm trying to find a new audience.
Yeah,
So
yeah, well, that's part of it too, isn't it?
yeah,
I mean, I've
yeah,
from when I found everyone was during the dreaded, so of course everyone was at home. We were all in
yeah,
lockdown. So, that's when I
hmm,
found everyone, and of course,
yeah,
after that, life tried to get back to normal. So, of course,
hmm,
we didn't have the numbers, we didn't have the hours, we didn't have the views
hmm.
because we were all back to life again. You know what I mean too? I think that,
Oh yeah, I
really,
mean, yeah,
you know, YouTube had a good time in a way during that because we were all stuck
oh
at
yeah,
home. And I
hmm,
think we've all struggled a bit to get
yeah,
going again once
and
life has got going again because we're all busy again. So
mhm,
doesn't help.
yeah, hmm, yeah. YouTube was like a escape for people. It really was. It
Definitely.
was, live streams were one of those things where people go and laugh and have a good time and forget about that
Mhm.
big, bad, nasty disease going on for a while.
Exactly.
And
Yep.
now people are living again, so to speak. And it's just, just
Yeah.
catching on the best you can. But we're doing it.
Mhm.
We all will.
Yep.
It's good to see. I'm trying to pop back into people's, lives as much as possible and stuff too.
Yeah.
And it's good to see everybody talking about something different, whatever, joking, laughing, and having a good time. So that's very important.
Yeah.
Very, very
I
important. Yeah.
definitely. I think that's it's a big part of it. And I
Mhm.
think we've all got so much going on at the moment because a lot of even all the chat or all the fam all the different people that used to join chat, half of them aren't there
Yeah.
anymore either, and that's just this last year. People seem to have disappeared, but
Mhm.
again, if you got any contact with them behind the scenes, they're going through a lot, or their family is, so it's just
Mhm.
unfortunately life has gotten very real in the this year
Yeah.
for a lot of people,
Oh,
and
yeah.
they just don't have the time, or when they do, they're exhausted. So
Yeah.
they might chuck on a video
Yeah.
here and there
You
on
know?
YouTube, but you know, we all know what it's like. So yeah, I
Mhm.
try and be really understanding with all of that because we're all going through the same thing. But at the same time, I'm like, well, I just keep plodding along doing my bit, trying to
Mhm.
share everyone and coax everyone back and just remind them you're all still here. You're all still
Mhm.
posting videos and lives, and yeah, so hopefully everyone will
Yeah. I
slowly
mean,
come
it's
back, or we find new ones,
mhm.
new people.
Yeah. Yeah. And see, like Face said, YouTuber in 2020. So that's
Yeah.
when they became a YouTuber. So yeah, about that time, a lot of people did. And
Mhm.
we've been doing it since when was it? 2017. It's been 6 years, something like that. So
Oh,
yeah,
very
so it's
cool.
good to see people that are. I like the new channels that are coming out. I like to see people's other new ideas and all that that's going on. So that's great. So yeah, so Face 2020. I like to see when people say they came. So this is like it'd be your third year then, Face. So that's great. It's great to see that.
Mhm.
But hopefully,
Yep.
X will get a little bit better. I mean, I've been watching the comments, and I've liked some comments and things that make sense, and
Yeah. Yeah, but
whatever. But
well,
the bashing is
all I
never
can
going to
say
stop.
is
And the very minute you do, you do that.
I was gonna say, look, I've been watching it now for I was about the same,
Well, yeah,
2020,
just
made the YouTube channel so I could actually subscribe to
yeah.
people and get their
Hmm.
notifications and stuff, and but with the X thing, I mean, what I've seen is at least once or
Yeah.
twice a year, there is Discord throughout the paranormal community with some channels or other with each other.
Hmm.
And I don't know why. I think there's room
Yeah.
for everyone and everyone's different styles, and if you've got a personal beef with someone, hey, look, not everyone gets along. Certain personalities will clash. It's okay, but try to keep it behind the scenes, is
Yeah.
all I can suggest,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't mind people speaking their mind. It's just when you speak your
Mm,
mind and then it goes to everybody else's
yeah.
mind, and it just like whatever. That's fine with me.
Yeah.
Do what you
It's
got to
just the
do. It's no big
continual,
deal.
if
But
you're going to bring it and be drama
yeah.
on Twitter or wherever, just continually and keep it going. I think that's when
Mhm.
supporters
Yeah.
and people just all go, scroll. No, I don't want
Yeah.
to look at that.
Mhm.
Might not visit that channel for a little
Yeah.
bit and wait and see if things settle
Yeah.
down. You know what I mean? Like they don't realize they might actually be harming their channel, So
I wonder, and you see this too. Here's what gets me is that they automatically assume they're ganging up on the big YouTubers. It's like let's come to protection of the big YouTubers. It's like okay, well, they might have been talking about somebody had 5 subscribers too. We don't know, but
yeah.
it's immediately the
Well,
assumption is a bad. That's what I'm trying to get. The
yeah.
assumption's a bad thing.
I hate to say this, but I think most of it is aimed at the big YouTubers myself. I mean, I know quite a bit of it has been directly. That's who they're talking about.
Oh yeah.
But you're right.
Hmm.
There were quite a few
Hmm.
beefs that weren't. It was just they were aimed at a
Hmm.
certain channel, and that
Yeah.
channel probably knew who they were too. So, but people do jump to the conclusion that
Yeah.
everyone's having a go at the big channels.
Just assume that's who they're talking about. I'm like, well, they might have been talking about
Yeah.
the guy that have 5 subscribers and 1 view every video, but I don't know.
Yeah.
But it was an interesting thing, and I've seen it's kind of calmed down a little bit, but
Yeah.
but then it's like you see them tagging each other in, and I'm like, oh god, now we're gonna have more people fighting, and I'm like, I don't know who else is saying something today.
Uh-huh.
You got a
Yeah.
question? What happened today? Mercy. Oh, that was a thing that the government wanted to do, I guess, to make sure that the cellular. I think it's just through the cell phone. I never seen my TV never went off like that or anything. So just they've been talking about it for a couple of weeks. Did you all have anything like that too? The security alert go off
No,
at
not for
2:30
us.
today or what? Well, your times be different, but okay.
Yeah,
So
sir.
we
I
had
think that was on
everybody's cell
I saw this morning.
phone here in the States go off at the exact same time.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah, everybody's. I was like, well, I knew about it. There's a lot of people who didn't. I was like, oh, it's been like 2 or 3 weeks I've been talking about this thing. But
Yeah.
apparently it has something to do to check and make sure I guess everybody could get an emergency alert. And they were talking about too,
Yeah.
and it's me, my sister and mom were talking about this earlier. If you were somebody who's in an abusive relationship, it has a second phone for protection or trying to,
Mhm.
get help. They told them,
Yep.
shut that off, mute it, whatever you had to do, shut it, so nobody will know that you got that second phone. So it was kind of,
Mhm.
yeah, the National Emergency Alert System. But anyway, it was just, yeah, I mean, I didn't think about that. Like if you're being abused and you have a second phone you use to kind of gather the information to help people know that you're being abused, yeah, that would be bad if somebody knew about that. So I didn't think that through. So, but it did. I just clicked the OK button. It made it sound like it was going to go off and stay off for 30 minutes. And
Oh,
it actually
wow.
started like 2:18 instead of 2:20 like it's supposed to. Imagine that.
Mhm.
And then I just hit the OK button. I was like, don't want to listen to you. I think Marnie, she was taking a nap, so hers was already off on mute or whatever, so she didn't hear it. So I was
Mhm.
glad of that. I was like, okay, we'll go with that. And I don't
Yeah,
know.
actually,
It
that
did
was
it did
something I was
piss a
thinking
lot of people off.
about. I mean, it's good that they tested the Wi-Fi, like the cellular system, I think is what they were trying to test. But it was something that I thought of not long ago here in Australia. We are so vast, like you guys, that when it comes to big storms, for you guys particularly, and fire season, it's okay having Wi-Fi until the towers get burnt or knocked down or get affected. Then nobody's got Wi-Fi. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, technology is wonderful, but I have thought so many of us and so many younger, newer who rely on technology because they've been brought up with it more than we were. The thing is, most of them may not have any clue. Like, do they still have a radio with batteries? You know what I mean? Some of the older style ways that we all prepared for storms, for bushfire, or for emergency situations, everybody's going to rely on their phones, their computers, their, for information. And it's not going to be reliable if the system is affected. And that was proven here in our bushfires last summer. And I'm like, it's great to test these things, but wouldn't it be great to keep the old system going as well and pick it, like have a double, like be out there teaching the newer ones about the older things and don't get rid of them all because we need them in emergencies, but a lot of people wouldn't think of that. So you've got me thinking just with some of our systems going down last summer. So
yeah, that's a good point. And I didn't think about this. I didn't have my radio on, so I don't know if the radio. Well, I listen to the Alexa. I don't want to say her name loud; she'll hear me. But anyway, I don't know if it went off on the radio or not. Now I have, of course, it goes off on our radios about once a month or whatever. Doing a test or stuff. But that's what you're in. We got an old. It's not old, but it's a newer. But it's a wind-up radio that will work for off the cellular or off the solar. Yeah, so those things that people don't think about that. That's the things you need. And then we got our waters and foods and whatever we might need. And thank God where I live, we don't normally deal with anything like tornadoes. Flooding sometimes, but tornadoes not.
Yes.
And I've always been told if a big tornado came in here, we're all gone. It's just going to destroy the mountains.
Wow.
So would be what they're saying is it would get caught in here and just bounce completely around. Now, I don't know how completely 100% true that is, but if it did, it would just tear everything up. But we don't get that. Now we get like when hurricanes hit, there's times we could get the rain that comes from it. And we've got a lot of flooding and things like that. Like our Biltmore Estate, which is our big attraction here in Asheville. It it can get flooded in that area. I think they're up a little bit higher to where it won't hurt the mansion, but that the area that you can shop in is very touristy can get flooded. I've been down there and done that before.
Yeah, we need Batty to get his bat wings out and come save us all. But yeah, it just made me think when I saw that post on Twitter today.
Hop on that bat wing and go.
That's it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just thought, now we all rely so heavily on technology, and yet in emergencies, technology is not always going to be there.
And I saw that on X where people were putting, what is this? Did everybody get this? I'm thinking, yep. If you were here, you did. But
and I saw in another chat, it was no. Someone said no, they like didn't come up on theirs. And I'm like, well, that's a great national system then, isn't it? But maybe that's what they're testing for. Bugs and things like certain areas that aren't getting the messages when they broadcast, So, I mean, it's a good idea. Test it. But, anyone listening afterwards, make sure you've got either a wind-up radio, torches, lights, or batteries for your and extra batteries in case of emergencies, Be a little prepared. Oh, wow, CC. You're on a fault line.
If you're a paranormal investigator without a flashlight, I'm sorry. Yeah. We are. we are on a fault line, and it's
That's scary.
the thing, we don't get an earth. Well, we can get tremors. We get little earth. We get the little small ones. Now, if we ever got a
Ah,
big
okay.
one, that's going to be bad. But
Yeah.
we do occasionally. I've not really ever. I felt one time years ago. I was working at Home Depot, and we were. I was doing overnights, and there was one that hit. I don't know. It was probably 40, 50 miles an hour, whatever it was. But you could feel that little bit of tremor, just a little bit. And we don't get anything much. I mean, we don't get like California at all. We don't get those type. And then Face says, I think the government wants to know people's personal life. Oh, they already do that. They can do that. They know us. How many times? Let me ask you this: have you thought about or talked about something with somebody like McDonald's, and then like McDonald's pops up on your phone? It just they know a
Mhm.
little bit about it. They know what they want to
Yeah,
know. You know,
yeah.
battery in case of emergency. Yeah, we need batteries, flashlights, whatever you can get. And I'm foggy again on my camera, but um, yeah, anything you can get, radios, whatever, get it. You know, but I did see, where people were saying, I didn't know about this. So you do
Yeah, I was
know.
shocked actually when some went, "No, it didn't come up on mine." I was like, "Oh, bugger.
Mhm.
That's a bit of a bug in the
Yeah,
system there, you know?
yeah,
You might have a whole state that didn't get it, you know?" But this
yeah.
is why
Well,
they
if
test it,
that's the case,
I
don't run it
suppose.
again. Well, I think in a way it is good to have something if you need it, but back in during the Cold War, I mean, you had people worried about nuclear bombs hitting the United States,
Mhm.
so there were
Yep.
precaution things that happened there too. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, so it is it's a yeah, yeah. As far as the government, they know anything they want to know, so I ain't worried about that.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
exactly. They have for years, mate,
but
way before anyone realised, so it doesn't bother me.
yeah, yeah, they know about you.
Typical Aussie, though.
I
Just
mean, if
chill, you know.
they
Why
can zoom
stress?
in, they can zoom in with a
You know?
camera and see your face, but they
Exactly.
can't find
They've
Bigfoot.
been doing it for years before we all got on board. So, and realistically, come on,
Mhm,
20 years ago, they all had your driver's license, they all had your social security, they all, like they
yeah,
knew anyway your addresses, your
yeah,
tax. Yeah, so they did know anyway. Just because there's cameras, they've been around longer than we think. So, don't
mhm,
stress, man. Unless you got
yeah,
something to hide.
yeah. Well, I mean, they know things. They
Hmm.
know whatever they want to know. Uh,
Yeah.
Survival skills. Yeah, everybody needs to know something about that. We do keep food and water on hand. I have to do it for my job, but also we just keep it
Yep.
because we have to keep it anyway. So that's our thing. But you
Yeah.
never know when you might need to go through that. Thank
That's
God we've not
right.
been in a situation to lose power for days and stuff like that. But a
Hmm.
few hours,
Oh,
but
the
that
power
yeah.
went out here this winter one day, but not for
Mm,
me, but up for my mum in her suburb, because we're in like a
right.
small city, so on the coast down the bottom of Western Australia, and it was one of our coldest days ever,
Mm,
and the poor bugger, her power went out. And she was just about to sort of make dinner and do all of that. And
hmm.
everything at her place is electric. She hasn't
Oh
got
Lord.
gas or anything else. And I'm just like,
Mm,
and she's 81, and she rang me going, "Oh, hon, is your power out?" I'm like, "No, is yours?"
oh
She's like,
no.
"Yeah." And I'm like, "Oh, God, no." She's like, "Hang on, I just got a text." And it said it wasn't going to be on for like 10 hours or something ridiculous, like overnight.
Oh Lord.
And
Hmm.
I thought, "No, that's ridiculous." We were literally only like 5 or 6 degrees Celsius over here at that time. And that was like 5 or 6 o'clock at night. And I'm just like, "Oh my God, what am I going to do?" And it's not like she could come here because she's got a cat who, you know, she likes to look after very well. And she's an older cat too. So she'd be too worried about leaving her at home
Right.
because she doesn't have as much fur as she used to, etc., etc. So I was like, "Okay, what can I do?" And I got hot water in flasks. I even found a couple of old hot water bottles and, filled them up. But she was semi prepared because she had her wind up her little radio she could listen to for any updates for the area, all that sort of thing. And so I stopped and got us some dinner on the way. And luckily, I rang Western Power, who is our power supply here, and they were like, look, unfortunately, yes, it has taken out quite a lot of her suburb. We're hoping to have it fixed within a couple of hours, but unfortunately at the moment we've given up to like an 8-hour window. But look, give me your address and I'll see if there's any particular issues close by to her, and I'll see if I can give you any extra information. So I did appreciate that. They did sort of try and see what was going on for me. But yeah, and it's those sorts of, even that, she's an older person. It was one of our coldest days, and because we rely so heavily on electricity, and she feels the cold very badly because she's on blood thinners. It was a matter of her trying to keep warm. That was all I was worried about: food and hot drinks, and trying to keep her warm, until the power could come back on. So, but she got her radio out, because she doesn't do technology anyway. She did keep up a few years back, but she's had too many health issues, so now she's just given up, going, no, not going to do it. No, just can't be bothered. So, but yeah, she got out her, and don't blame her. She got too many other things to worry about than keeping up with technology. But she got out her little radio, battery operated, and yeah, sort of contacted me and said, hun, do you know what's happening? Can you look it up? So she did say it is handy, of course, technology. But yeah, I sort of, it's those things too, not even necessarily big storms, but sometimes even just power going out for prolonged periods can be a problem. So,
oh yeah. And see, now Mads had just said he didn't get the notification. We were talking about that earlier.
Yep.
But I did tag him in X with it. But yeah, the notifications ain't going out right. He came in much earlier than before I started, but it didn't notify him. So there you go. That's another thing we were talking about.
Yep.
Mads, how you doing? I was going to try to work with Mads at some point in time, do some investigations, but we just never were able to do anything. But Puerto Rico and Florida, no power lines. So, oh yeah, hurricanes and y'all had. Oh Lord.
Yeah.
That's always bad. And then just any bad storm. Then tornadoes in the Midwest. I mean, you never know when. And even this year they had, and it's been a long time since they've had a hurricane in California. And they had one this year.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
they were really like, what do we do? They laugh at us when we get an earthquake. It's not very big, but we're kind of like, oh, what we're going to do? And then it's like they get a hurricane, like, what are we going to do?
Yeah, your weather over there is wild. I worry about everyone, you got the tornado belt and then hurricanes and different things, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I hope all my people are okay, every time I hear something somewhere.
Oh Lord. And poor people like Amy, who's out, Texas, Oklahoma, and all that area through there, always gets those bad storms and hurricanes, or not hurricanes, but tornadoes. You just never know. Well, they can get hurricanes in Texas too that can spawn off too if they ain't careful to tornadoes.
Yeah, I'm sort of lucky where I am. We sort of our hurricanes, we get cyclones, what we call cyclones, similar to a hurricane. But it's mainly up the coast, and up our north coast gets a lot of them. So pretty, we're pretty lucky where we are. We're a bit sheltered. But we did have a lot of rain one storm and last year before. And yeah, our road got flooded and nobody could sort of drive through it. It flooded that badly. And my poor neighbors right next door, the two houses next to me, the flood actually was so bad, it went straight down their driveways and into their homes. And I was so lucky because ours is just up that little bit compared to theirs. And they lost everything because, unbeknownst to us, there was sewerage in the water. So because it was in the water and it went into their home, that's bacteria. And yeah, so they had a
Mhm.
huge cleanup, like even pictures on the wall and things. He's going, look, you can try and clean them, but it's bacteria, love, blah, blah, blah. And they had actually all not long moved in. This was a couple of years ago. So yeah, that was, even we can get a bit of flooding where I am is probably more what we worry about. And yeah, big storms, we get very strong winds sometimes, 120 k's, things like that. So getting close
Mhm.
to
Mhm.
some of the big storm, cyclones and things, but not quite.
Mm.
Been a bit lucky.
Yeah.
So
Well, thanks, Face. I appreciate that. Thank you and welcome aboard. And Baz, I understand completely. I understand you gotta get up early. I got that. And yeah, you're in Nashville now, so yeah, that's Asheville with an N. It's further away. But yeah. Um, but anyway, thank you, Face, for subscribing, being a part of our channel, our family here. Do appreciate that a lot. Um, got a lot of great people involved with us. We love to share out with what the paranormal vodka, everybody that we have, and
yeah,
this paranormal fam. So thank you for being a part of
yeah.
this one. You're on vacation.
Oh,
Cool. That's great.
lucky.
Yeah, everybody loves a vacation, right? Hmm. That's cool. But anyway, so yeah, I think we covered quite a bit tonight. Really do. So I want to let's see here. Just let everybody know that if you want to go back, if you missed the story, you can go back to the beginning of this and listen to it about John Pate, pain in the ass. I'll put it that way. He was not a very good man at all. So, but I think we're going to call it a night. Vodka, thank you so much for coming up. We'll do
Oh,
this
you're welcome.
again.
Thanks for having me. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. And thank you for everybody in the chat for being here. Love y'all and appreciate your time here as well. And I don't know if there's anybody else live tonight, but go check it out. Go YouTube, see what's going on. And going to Tennessee this
Channy
week. Oh, cool. Face.
Channy's on at the moment. Channy's on. Multiple
Oh,
people were earlier, but yeah, I think Channy's Unexplainable Adventures is the one left live at the moment that I can see.
oh
I don't
yeah.
know about anyone else.
She was doing a party or something tonight. I was trying to see if I can get anything to pop up, but I can't. My internet's slow today. I don't know what the deal is. But anyway, yeah, she was live earlier. And I don't see Bat Rican was. Oh, he was doing a premiere earlier. That's what he was doing.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
So I
Channy's is
guess
a bit
that's
of a
it. If you want to go
Halloween
check her out,
party.
yeah, she's still live. It shows.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. All right, guys. Well, let's hop off here and everybody get some rest tonight, or have a good morning in some people's cases.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Love y'all. We'll see you next
Bye,
week.
everyone. Love you guys. Mwah. Take
Bye.
care. Thanks for having me. Bye.
Bye.